This is an Encore unit, and right now I'm in the fault logs. So I see it has 63 F2 errors, which is a low temp. It has 54 mag over temp errors. It has 184 EC temp errors and 58 high voltage heat rise low errors. That's F8. So with these errors, especially the F5, the EC temp, and the F6 EC temp, and the F8 a low heat rise, just from the fault log, that's indicating that there's possibly an issue in the heat section. Either the heaters are bad, or the high limit switch is bad. And then the other thing could be, let me just step across here. The other thing could be that the air filter is a little clogged right in here, so I'll clean that out. But mainly, it probably has to do with the heat rise on there. So like this, there's a high limit right in the back. It's on the lower left corner of the unit, and it has a reset button that you can hit. But what I'm going to do is, since this is an older unit, I'm going to look at replacing the high limit switch, and then testing out the heaters also. So just bear with me for a moment, and then we'll get started on that. Okay, so now, as you can see, I have the side panel is off. I have the top panel off also, and bear with me a little bit on this, because I'm going to have to probably move the camera around a little bit, but I think you could see pretty good. I just want to show you right here is the lower heater wire. This is this white wire right here. Right here is the upper heater element wire. And I know it looks a little scorched over here on this side. That's mainly due to the buildup of grease that gets inside, and then it comes through the crevices in the oven itself. But like I said, this is an older style unit, so this has probably been here for over 10 years. So it probably should have been put in for replacement, which is probably what I'm going to do today after I repair it, just to see about getting the site a newer model unit. Right now, I'm about to do a test on the lower and the upper heaters, and this will let me know if there is a real issue with the high limit switch. That was the switch I was telling you about earlier. Hopefully you can see it. It's right here, and as you can see, it has a tube that is installed right in here. This tube, it's like a sensor probe, and then behind the unit, there's a reset switch. Let's see if I can get you a good look at that. Right there is the reset switch. So there's times when you can have this in the test mode, and you can press in on that, and then you'll be able to tell if there's an issue with it. And I really think there is an issue with this, so I probably will end up replacing this anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and test the switch, because you can see that the lower element, both elements are attached to this, to the high limit. So that has a lot to do with the functioning of the heating, of it heating up. And on these turbo chef ovens, if they don't heat to a certain temperature in a particular set time, they'll go into an error. So we'll go ahead and test that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the service screen, hit back, hit a down arrow, and we're going to go to test mode. Right there, test mode. And then, like I said, I'm going to put in the code, which at this time I'm not going to show the code just because of this is a corporate store and they really don't want everyone knowing the code. But if you do need the code, you can always call tech support and they will give you the code. So now we're into the service mode now. So you have mag, this is where you would do the mag test. You could press the button there and then it would power up. You could test the blowers. Right now the blower is at 40%. You could probably hear it going. And then right here is the upper heating, the top heating element, and then here's the bottom heating element. So I'm gonna test between these two. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and I'll turn on the top heating element and then I'll test that. Take your amp clamp, put your meter on the amps setting, go around there. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on, hit the button. On this one you have to press and hold. That's looking pretty good. I'm getting 15 amps on there. So I'll go down here, check out the lower element. Again, you got to hold that button in on these models. Some of the other models you don't have to hold it. You can just press it and you'll get a reading. Right here I'm getting 13 amps. So that's showing me that the heaters are functioning. So more than likely I have an issue with the high limit here. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and replace that high limit. Another thing that I noticed on this is, remember we had some EC temp errors. They had a few, I think it was like 64 EC temp errors. And they had a mag too hot error. And this is it right here. This high limit is for a different unit, a different model, possibly one of the Bullet models or a newer Bullet model. And these are the wires that actually it should be attaching to it. So I'm going to replace this also because this may be rated. There's no telling what that temperature is rated for. It could be a lower temp, rated for a lower temp, so it'll go into an error much quicker, as opposed to this one, which is the correct one. This is the correct high limit for the magnetrons. These high limits tell us they tell the unit when it's too hot in there. And that one, they did have a few of those errors. So this one over here is more than likely going out on a high temp error when really it's not. So I'm just taking a look around to check for any other wiring issues, which I don't really see at this time. So right now it looks like what I'm gonna end up doing is possibly just replacing that high limit over here. This high limit for the magnetron, and then this high limit down here for the heater. And then I wanted to show you also, let's go back. Let me go back to, as you can see here, the EC temp, I think you could see it. It says 100 and it's going between 102, 108, but that's the electrical compartment temperature. So it is reading the temperature and everything, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that it's not going out too soon. And if it's getting a low heat rise, that other high limit back here is, if that's faulty, then that's not going to allow it to heat up in time. So I just want to go back one more. Go here. Let's go back into the fault log. I want to show you. So we have all of these faults here. What I want to do is we want to clear those out. On these older units, the way they're designed was if they have faults still stored in here, sometimes these units will go back into a fault. So it's always good to make sure you clear out all of the errors. So you do that by hitting this 0 right here, and then that zeroes out everything. So watch, I'll go ahead and press it, then you'll see everything right now went back to 0. So I just wanted to let you know, share that with you, and just bear with me for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and get the parts that we need, and then we'll go through changing everything out. Be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this high limit and replace that. It's a little tight area here, but we'll work it out. And remember, always unplug or disconnect the unit from power when working on these, or any equipment really. But and what I'm gonna do is I'm changing out this high limit right now. As you can see, it's out. Right now it's out right here. There's only 2 screws that hold it in on the back here. Easy to get to. Like I said, some of these areas are very tight conditions, so just do your best to make do with what you have and get your room so you can work. This here, just gonna pull back this tape, and then usually what I do is I cut a little slit up the middle so I can get to the probe that's inside there. As you can see, it's insulation in there. There we go. Just push back the insulation And be careful with your hands because the unit is very, very hot. So what we have here is there's two screws that hold in two brackets that the probe sits in. So you just have to loosen the two screws in there. There we go. A little tight, but it's coming. Give me a moment. Get them both loose. You get them loose enough. Don't pull the screws all the way out because, like I said, the unit is very hot. So you don't want to cause injury to yourself trying to get at the screws out of there. So just bear with me for a moment so I can pull this out. The top one's giving me a little problem. The thing with these are like the screws, they're Phillips head screws, but after a while of sitting in there, they kind of get welded in. So just bear with me for a moment so I can loosen this up. There we go. Okay. Be careful, it's hot. So that's the probe that sits in there. And it runs right to the high limit. And this is what helps the unit to be able to tell if it has if it's reaching the temperature in enough time and stuff. And now I'm just gonna wire it in. And just a good thing that I found as a good practice is to always, this is the new probe, I always try to run that probe wire away from these terminals, because you don't want this wire while in operation to come in contact with those terminals. I've seen that happen and it shorted out the circuit, shorted out the board. So just make sure you turn it so it's away from the probe, and then once we set it in, you'll be able to see like how you'll be able to see how you can keep it away from there better. But always go these, try to see if you can see it, but you should be able to see numbers underneath the terminals. So if you have a schematic or something, you can also follow the schematic. But I usually tell other techs like to just go ahead and instead of pulling all the wires off right away and not really paying attention to what terminal they're on, it's best to keep the wires on and then just go wire for wire. So that's what we're doing now. Just gonna go, take your time and just go wire for wire. Also, these not on all of them, but most of them, they still have labels on the wire that tell you which one to go to, okay, which terminal it goes to. They'll say the terminal number. But to be on the the safe side, it's always good to go wire for wire, because then you know for sure that those wires are in the same spot that they were when you took it out. That's the old terminal, and that would be mounted inside the machine this way. So when you feel back there, when you're on a job and you feel back there on the bottom left side, you'll feel that reset button. And this is a reset button to reset the high limit if it's tripped. Most times you'll be able to hear a little click if it is tripped, and then that way you know that the high limit is possibly bad. I'm just gonna get my last wire on there, and then I'll get this I like to get the high limit mounted in first, and then that way I can adjust the way that the probe goes in. So right now I'm just mounting the high limit back to where it was. And like I said, when you're running that probe, just be careful, because this oven is very hot. It's over or around 500 degrees. So you just want to be careful, getting your hands caught in any hot spaces in there. Right now I'm just maneuvering this probe wire so it's not in contact with any of those terminals there. Give me 1 second. Yeah. I just took the top wires off of the high limit for now, to so that I can work this probe around all of the wires and out of the way, because that one probe wire can cause a lot of issues if it's comes in contact with the circuit. And then I'll show you, once I get this set in there, I'll show you that there's a little plastic mounting hook that you can use to secure that wire so it's not moving around or anything. Okay, so right now, right now I'm just making sure that this the probe itself is secured in there, and then we'll cover it back up. I'll let you take a look, a little closer look. So that's the probe. I got it set in there now. Move that wire out the way, but you should be able to see the wires there. The probe's in, it's secured, and then I'm gonna pull this back here and just put like a little loop right up here, and then this is the clip. Let's see. Can't really get in there good to show you the clip. There it is. Right here, this is the clip where I hook the probe into so that it doesn't move around. So that way it's going to kind of stay right up top. And then we'll go back and cover everything back up. I'll push that installation back and make sure everything's secured. There we go. Like I said, with this one here, I basically want to get this back operational so that the site can use it. But I am going to request that they allow us to replace this unit with a new model, more updated model. Okay, it's in there. So now that high limit is back in there. I have one, the one high limit that I was showing you on top of the mag, that I feel it's not the correct high limit. I don't have a replacement, so I'm gonna have to order that and come back. But even though I don't think that is the correct high limit for this model, it still should operate properly and give me good readings and allow them to be able to cook. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and power everything back up, and then have this see how this warms up, and then we should be able to tell if it's going to operate properly. Okay, so right now I got the oven is back on and it's warming up, but I wanted to go over something. I just want to show you where you could go to test, and you'll be able to see what's actually going on inside the oven, what's actually going on as far as the heating process. Give me 1 second, let me get into the service mode. Okay, so go to service mode, then you can see right here is diagnostic mode. You can turn that on or off. It's normally off, but when I want to see what's going on inside the oven, you could turn that on and then just hit back and back yourself out of the menu, and then hit the on button. Hit it on, and then it's going to go ahead and heat up. And then when this heats up, I'll come back so we could see it go through a cook cycle, and then that way I could see if everything is heating properly and if any errors are coming up. So we'll do that in a few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, we're back in the operation mode. And what I want to do is we want to see how this cooks in the diagnostic mode. So we'll go ahead and try. Okay, so you see those numbers? This is telling you the remaining time. It's telling me how much of a percentage of my blower is at. Okay, and then it's telling me the temperature of the unit. It's telling me the temperature that it's cooking at right now, and then it's telling me what percentage the wave guides are at. And then these right there, you see those H1 and H2 going back and forth? That's the high and the top and the lower heaters. So that is showing me that those heaters are functioning correctly. So we'll go ahead and let that cook through, and then we'll see how everything comes out. Right now I just have a rag in there just to give it a load so that it's like it's cooking the item. Excuse me. And again, like I said before, when we get down to like between 25 to 26 seconds, you should hear that blower rev up. You should hear it kind of rev up, and then that's that final wave guide. There you go. You see the wave guide went up to 100%. So now this is putting the finishing touches on whatever is in there. And you see the heaters are still flashing. And then when this is done, I'm going to show you real quick about this PSM right here. That's an important troubleshooting tool to use. Okay, so now it's done. Open it up. Take this out for now. Just place it aside so nothing's getting burned. Now I'm just going to go out, go to my test mode again. Excuse me. Go up to test mode. Okay. Okay, so see this PSM, that's our door switches, okay? That's the primary, secondary, and monitor switches. And those are important because if they don't go in sequence, that's gonna cause this unit to go into a fault. So what we want is we want to see P highlight, then S highlight, and then M highlight. Like that. And now when you close it, you want it to go in reverse. So it should go M, the highlight should go away, S should go away, and then M, when you close it, it goes away. That lets you know that the unit, the door switches are in the proper sequence. Just wanted to run that by to you guys too. So I'll go ahead and let this warm up. I'm gonna put this, reassemble this unit, and then I'll let the staff cook some items and make sure everything's working right without any errors. Again, I said I'm gonna put this one in for replacement to see about replacing it, and a lot of it has to do with the way this door looks. You see how the coating is chipped off, and on the inside, you might not be able to see it, but there's windows back there. Give me 1 second, let me get. Okay, so yeah, right back there, you see those windows, how they're black. So I mean that's that's a thing that happens over time, and especially if the unit's not being cleaned properly. Just to let you know, like, these units should be cleaned daily, mainly by the night shift, but as you can see, they really don't get cleaned well, and the glass ends up getting dark, and a lot of times that causes the food not to cook correctly also. And like I said, they also had a clogged air filter, which I cleaned out already. Just gonna clean it a little more real quick. Give me a second. Usually if I have one that's really bad, I'll try to see if I can replace it with a new one if I have one on the truck. But if not, you just have to let it soak and let it clean out. But they are actually supposed to clean these daily also, but if they don't get cleaned, then they get blocked up. So you always want to make sure that the filters are clean, and you will have a lot of EC temp errors if these aren't cleaned right. So you want to make sure that everything is clean as far as that filter goes. If that filter's clogged, or sometimes what happens is they end up getting this goes right back here. Sometimes they'll end up getting these those little papers like these, like these here, they'll get stuck. What happens is they'll get stuck back here like that. And see how it blocks the air? It gets stuck right over the fan, and you'll see them sometimes they'll be stuck like that. And you'll have one that has a lot of EC temp errors, and that's all it was, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and button this up, and I thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped some on this replacement of the high limit switch, and we'll see you at the next job site. Thanks. Bye-bye.